For people with cancer and their families, the disease often isn't the only thing you're up against. You're also facing the costs of fighting cancer while paying for the rest of your life. According to the American Journal of Medicine, more than 40% of patients lose their entire life savings in just 2 years, and over half of cancer patients have at least $10,000 of debt from the cost of treatment. And it's not just hospital bills. In many cases, a spouse or a parent will stop working or cut back hours to make time to take care of their loved one. It's called financial toxicity, the money troubles that can come along with a cancer diagnosis. And it's a problem that former Patriot Joe Andruzzi and his wife Jen and their foundation are working to tackle one family at a time. And they've just cut their 10,000th check. Andruzzi, a cancer survivor himself, good to see you, Joe. And Jen, hello, who is the CEO and co-founder of the foundation. Join me now. Great to see you both. Thanks for being here. You know, I was under the assumption that you started working with cancer survivors and families after you had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. But then I read that years before, the two of you had worked with an organization at Children's Hospital in 2003. Why'd you get involved to begin with?
Well, ever since I got in the NFL in 1997, I was always involved. I guess it's my upbringing, having a dad that was a New York City cop, 3 brothers that are New York City firemen, and always giving back. And my whole family was, was a cop or fireman or some sort of city job, but for me, I was always involved in paying it forward and visiting kids, and we befriended a young boy with an inoperable brain tumor, and unfortunately he did succumb to the cancer in 2002, and my wife Jen and I started the C.J. Buckley Brain Cancer Research Fund at Children's Hospital with his family. And in 3 years, we raised over $500,000. And a year after that, God works in funny ways. I'm calling that doctor for my own help.
So is it in his genes? He seems to be saying it's in the Andruzzi family genes, is it?
Definitely, I would say the Andruzzi boys are raised to always be kind and generous. They're all very giving of themselves. I think they learned that from both of their parents.
And
really.
It's obviously contagious if it appears. You mentioned your brothers. I was going to mention in a minute. I mean, it's so great that there are 3 firefighter brothers, and I think most people watching the show know as much about them as they know about you with your 3 rings or whatever it is. Who can forget the day when, was it 12 days after 9/11?
Yep.
When they were out on the field and you went on the field. Was it Foxborough, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was one of the most beautiful moments. I mean,
it was hopefully the first and last time we ever see the Patriots and Jets fans holding hands.
No, but they did that
they
day,
stood
didn't
out
they?
there for more than what their uniform presented. They stood out there for those that cherished.
It was really beautiful.
12 days prior. Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, 10,000 checks. I mean, that's how's that feel? How'd that feel?
I think there's mixed emotions.
Why?
I think, really, it's such a great honor and privilege to be able to do that. And it's not just Joe and I doing it. It's, our entire staff, our board, the volunteers.
But what's the however? Why however?
The however is there are 10,000 more. We gave that check to Katie with a surprise that Joe and I were personally able to hand it to her at Dana-Farber a few weeks ago. And
you have a picture of that, Katie Crowell, right?
Yes,
is that
and you look at Katie's face and you know that there are thousands of others of Katie's out there. And that's really, you have such great pride that all of your work, you can see it, right? 10,000 grants, like, oh my goodness, like, we never think, that was a milestone I don't even think we thought of when we first started it. But because we've been doing this for close to 11 years now, we know, the cost of cancer and that there are 10,000 more right behind her.
But she ran the marathon. Did she run the marathon?
She did run the marathon.
And did you run the marathon?
I did run the marathon.
You won't even make eye contact when you say that. And with an Andruzzi Foundation team, right?
Yes,
17
proudly.
of the runners.
Yep.
Not me. I give up running when I got pom-poms now.
But you were so deeply involved. I mentioned the thing with your brothers, obviously, and all of us remember the photograph of you carrying the woman away from the bombs, from the explosions.
Well, we were there at Forum. Was our watch party for our foundation. We had 20 runners that year.
Forum was ground zero for this, for those that don't remember.
So that's where the second bomb went off. And you don't think and you just react. And
do you even know who that woman was?
Not at that moment.
But you do now?
I do now, yes.
That's pretty great. You ever spoken to her again?
Oh, yes. We met up. They live in Virginia. We met up the following year. And she ran the marathon. She healed up and she ran the following year marathon.
What does this giving do for you? I mean, you talked pretty powerfully a couple of minutes ago about what it means to you to give to 10,000 families, and there are thousands more. But what does it? We know what it does for those families. What does it do for you, Jen and Joe?
I think,
was it $6 or $7 million bucks or something?
Yeah. So I think for us, yes. So we've awarded $6 million out to New England cancer patients and families. I can't imagine doing anything else. I cannot imagine doing anything else except doing something for somebody else. It's just, it's in my blood. I was not raised in New York, not with Joe. We did not know each other. There's no same upbringing. I'm a Midwest girl turned into a New Englander. But I just honestly, wholeheartedly, I just, my family is number one, but working for people is number two. I just think there's so many voices that we don't listen to, and they need to be heard. I read a Patriots.com piece on your foundation, and you said in it that she is the heart and the soul of the foundation. Now I know that to be true. But you also said that part of what caused you to do so well with this work was the example the Kraft family had set with the whole notion of giving back to the community and paying it forward. So how hard has this most recent thing with Robert Kraft been for you as somebody who worked for him and sees him as so much of an inspiration?
It's tough how he's being thrown through the ringer by all these activist groups and stuff. But he made a mistake, and I think he knows that now. But overall, the investigation that was going on down there, they had nothing to do with that. So. It wasn't any part of that. So overall, we'll see what the court has to say, and knowing how much good he does for this whole area in New England, and knowing that my wife personally worked with his wife Myra when she was with us, and learning from different aspects of what they did and how we move forward in our foundation, and being able to see that rewarding factor, and to not to always be noted for it. I know Myra never wanted all the accolades, and she would come to our events, by herself in the corner of the room, and that's it. And cut sometimes a personal check. And us, whether it's the 10,000th or the 10,001, it's still still a person, and we're still trying to help change lives, and we couldn't do it without the support of all of our supporters out there throughout New England.
Here's to the next 10,000. Congratulations. You guys done
Thank
fabulous work.
you.
Good to see you, Jen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. For more info, head to joeandruzzifoundation.org.